Hello, my name is Bradley and I'm your host of The Internal Game. Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who watch the videos, who comment, who basically are just part of the Internal Game community. I greatly appreciate you guys and I have so much fun doing this, and I just wanted to take a moment to say that you are greatly appreciated and I see you, okay? So, the other day, in a school group session, I'm pretty sure it was a school group session, someone had asked, it was like, so is just being aware of like the belief system, is just being aware of the perceptions, is just being aware of the thoughts enough? And it's like, yeah and no, because we're aware that we create reality, right? You're aware that everyone is yourself pushed out. You're aware that consciousness is the only reality. You're aware that belief systems run the show until we're aware of them, right? Like, we're aware of a lot of things, but there's still like another step to it, and it's like, you got to do something about it. Right? So we can be aware that we got some program going, some belief system running some perceptions and some behaviors kind of thing, or reactions, but we still have to let it go. We still have to choose differently in the moment, or then we're just aware, right? It's kind of like when Eckhart Tolle said, until we practice surrender, then the spiritual life will just be something that we read about, talk about, write about, have conversations about, but it won't be something that we actually experience. I'm sure Neville Goddard would have said the same thing over in his arena, that until you actually be a doer of the word, law of assumption will just be something that you talk about, read about, watch content about. And I also want to point out the fact that the Neville teachings, if you ever got into them, it was a lot more than just specific people related, you know? And they're great works, and you should definitely check them out if you haven't, right? Don't let people represent Neville for you. Go read them. Just like don't let me represent Eckhart Tolle for you. Go read them, right? And then put it into practice. But I also wanted to touch on the fact that, like, well, I've been touching on this fact that, like, there's a part of us that doesn't want this change, because if that weren't true, we wouldn't keep doing the same thing, right? We just wouldn't. We wouldn't keep buying into story. We wouldn't keep like, oh, I know I create my reality, but I keep reacting. Oh, I know I need to do something different, but man, it just gets hard and I just fucking spaz, bro. Like, fair enough, it's challenging, but you're aware that you need to do something, right? You're aware that in order for this to change, you have to make a different decision, right? You have to do something different in the moment, but it still doesn't do it for you. You still, like, just because you're aware of it doesn't mean anything. Just because you read The Power of Now doesn't mean you become enlightened. Just because you read Neville Goddard's The Power of Awareness doesn't mean that you just walk around and start creating reality. You actually have to, even though you are, I mean, like, intentionally, you actually have to do these things, right? And this part of us that doesn't want change is running the show, more so unconsciously. So we want to bring awareness to this. Okay, listen, I keep doing the same thing over and over again. React, regret, got it, boss up. React, regret, got it, boss up. React, regret, got it, I'm bossing up now. And this over and over again. Watch more videos. So you're aware of what's going on. You're aware that maybe even there's a party that doesn't want this change that your conscious mind says that you do. Is it enough? Right? You actually have to step in, and say, okay, enough's enough. I had a friend, his dad used to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? Because, like, we make identities out of pain, right? Like, when I was talking about this the last video, when we have identify with someone who's abandoned, someone who is not enough, someone who is not worthy, things like that. Like this is painful. This is not like this loving belief system. And because we're identified with things like that, we seek more of it unconsciously. Because your sense of self is just looking for more of its sense of self to stay alive. So it perceives everything this way. That's why when we find out about like, oh, I create my reality, cool. Assume, tell new stories. But why do I keep going back? You've heard me say it's way more about not telling a story than it is, or not telling the old story more than it is telling a new story. Like, it's not an old story if you're still telling it, right? So a lot of times we think we're maybe in different places than we are, because we're like, oh man, I went back to the old story. I reacted again. But like, our reactions let us know what we're identified with. So did we ever really leave? You know? So there's a party that doesn't want it, a party that does. This party that does needs to be aware. This is the first part. There's a party that doesn't want this change because it's not how it sees itself. And then you actually have to start letting these things go in the moment. You actually have to start not reacting and being non-reactive in the moment. You actually have to make a different decision in the moment. If not, this whole thing just keeps going and going and going. And it'll happen as long as you want it to. But if you actually want it to stop, you have to step in with the awareness, part one, and part two, actually let go of the program, of the pain. Okay. Also, to help you with this is part two of this video, I guess. I was gonna do 2 different videos, but you have to stop being so scared. Guys, I talk about my wife, our split up almost every day. Actually, probably every day because of one-on-ones and things like that. Like and for relatability purposes, I bring up, oh, this happened with me and and this is how I navigated this. And I talk about it every day. Every day. And guess what? I don't recreate it. I don't. Like, the second I start talking about it, like in the office over there, like I don't see my wife like just start getting up, like I don't know what I'm doing. I just like I don't want to be here anymore. Like, it's not a thing. Okay? So don't be scared of talking about things. Don't be scared of thinking about things. Don't be scared of fucking, because when I get on one-on-ones, people say like, I know I'm not supposed to tell you to talk about it, but for like, just so you know, I'm like, you can talk about it. Like the limits, people in law of assumption, I know I've done this before. Like, we had this kind of like bad taste in our mouth from law of attraction, and we're like, oh yeah, but like they put so much limits on us because it says you got to feel good all the time to get stuff. And like, you don't, right? It's ideal, I guess, if you want to, obviously it'd probably be ideal, but you don't have to. And it felt like there were so many limits over there in that arena. And then we found law of assumption, like, whew, I can breathe. But then it's got its own limits. You can't talk about something. You can't think about something. Oh, beware who you say something to. If someone asks you about it, just like, no. How is the world, please answer this, how is the world going on right now with probably 99 a lot of percent of people not knowing about the law of assumption? Like, how are, like, there are people right now as we speak in this infinite reality universe that are literally saying, I'm never going to find my person, I'm going to be single forever, and tomorrow they're going to meet somebody. They maybe even meet them today. But just because they said it doesn't mean anything. Like, you have to stop walking around micromanaging everything you do. Just drop the fear. Just stop creating meaning out of everything. Oh, can't think about that. Oh my God, but if I talk about it, that means that I'm going to attract. It's like, this is more limitations in this arena. Okay? So if you haven't guessed by now, the one common denominator in all these arenas that are causing all these hiccups is belief in mind, is believing that you are your mind. The one common denominator in any hiccup in any system, anywhere, and any issue that anybody has is a belief that they are their mind. But just because we may be aware of this isn't enough, right? we still have to let it go. And you also need to start walking around like not being scared of things. You can talk about stuff. I talk about stuff all the time. Like it's like such a foreign concept to me, or maybe foreign concept isn't the word, but like it's such a, seemed like a past life kind of thing where like certain things were my reality. Because it was. That's not even the same version of me. I don't live in that type of state of being or anything, or belief systems running a show like that. So I can talk about it because I have no fear that if I talk about something, it's going to start creating. No, that's fear. That is a person that does not know who they are. I'm not kidding. I talk about, and just because you know, like think that you're God doesn't mean that you know that, and you know that by getting out of mind. I promised myself I wasn't going to rant. But I haven't seen you guys in a while. And I still do one-on-ones a lot. I still have group sessions over in school. I still do membership stuff. Like, it's a common theme. People are scared. And I get this and I understand this, but you have to stop being so scared. And the only way you're gonna stop being so scared is if you actually surrender and get out. And surrender doesn't mean accept defeat. Surrender means you stop playing this game of incessant mind thinking and start letting go. Surrender means you stop playing the game of this identity that you've been being, that has created all this mess, that's putting layers and layers upon things I can and can't do to get my manifestation. When manifestation, don't even get me started on that word, is like just a byproduct of you. It's nothing that you try to do. Like you don't need to go out there and try like to be focused on this manifestation all the time. You just need to get out of the version that experienced that and get yourself solid and square and stable, because that's a person that would naturally experience a harmonious relationship with this person. It's a byproduct of you, like everything is. The person, everything. So there's no need to focus on the manifesting part. No need to start putting layers upon layers upon layers of things you can and can't do every day. Oh my God, did I think about this? That what does that mean? Oh my God, my friend's gonna ask me about her, or ask me about him, and what am I gonna say? Because if I say that I haven't talked to him, then that means that like I'm not with them, I'm not supposed to be living in the end. And I don't care if your friend does ask about the SP. If you want to say, hey, I talked to him, then you say that. Well, whatever you do, you don't walk around scared. Like, if it's done, it's done. That's it. If you know it's done, it's done. There are millions upon millions of people out there getting back with their ex every day, every other month, or just a new person in general that have zero idea about law of assumption, and they probably told people they were single. Guarantee you they did. They probably told people they were like, hey, actually, that person doesn't talk to me. It seems like they don't like me anymore. Like, and they get back. This is an energy thing. This is a belief and mind thing. Get out of the mind into the body. I guess it did turn into a rant. Anyway, awareness is the first part. Actually letting it go is the second part. They're both equally important, but you need both of them. Got to be aware that something's going on, and then you actually have to let it go, make a different decision in the moment. You actually have to stop being so scared of that. Oh, if I do this, if I don't do that, I'm not going to get my manifestation. How about you worry about getting yourself stable and getting out of fear, and watch what happens. State of being game. What else did I have? Something else. I think it actually might have been just the word manifesting in general. Like it's become such a hindrance, I think, more than and it's not anyone's fault, but like if we're in these states of being and we're chaotic and we're trying to manifest and we don't know who we are, and just because we're aware that we create reality doesn't mean that we really know who we are, and we're aware that like, my assumptions that it played out and all this stuff, it's like, dude, yeah. But like if you still haven't accessed some wholeness, which is a realization, like some certain things like that within, don't even worry about how to change the way you look at them, because it's not going to change. Until you start to get out of the belief systems that perceive them that way in the first place, It doesn't matter because the belief system is only going to look for proof of itself. So trying to change how you see them without changing how you see yourself is it's fruitless. It's fruitless. You are numero uno. Everything is coming from you. Everything is you are projecting everything. You are it and your focal point. It makes zero sense to focus on anything else but this. And the only reason that we do that is because we're scared. We're in fear that, oh my Lord, if I focus on myself, they just might leave. Well, I've said this many times. If you're scared of losing somebody, if you're scared of focusing on yourself because you think you might lose them, that's exactly why we were in this position in the first place. So anyway, I guess I could title this rant number 2. But awareness is not enough. Learning is not enough. You actually have to do different. You actually have to be different. You have to make a different decision in the moment. Just because you're aware that of some Neville works, it didn't just automatically spark you and you just started calling shots and everything started working out for you. Maybe some people did. I haven't seen any. I'm not saying it's not a thing. I'm just saying I haven't personally seen anything. It takes being a doer. And if someone did do that, it's because they were a doer, not because they were only a learner. It's okay to, ideally, you do want to be aware of your thoughts and your thinking and your thought patterns and the perceptions, because your perceptions say more about you than it does about the actual situation, because you can only perceive with the belief system. So yeah, take some awareness on that and be like, okay, I'm perceiving this a certain way. Okay, but then you actually have to let it go. You can't be like, oh, they're perceiving this way, that must be a belief system, but still they're doing this. Oh, but why they need to stop doing this still. I know I create reality, but they're doing it. No, that's not letting it go. That's holding on to victim story. That's holding on to the little me that created it in the first place. So awareness isn't enough to start, but then you have to finish it by letting of the identity, by actually letting it go. And please, give yourself a fucking break and stop being so scared. Do you remember life before you found out about manifesting? Do you remember how, it may have seemed like finding manifesting was the greatest things. I remember I thought that. I was like, cool. But then I was like, dude, my life, I got worse because everything was so filtered to oh my God, what does this mean? What if I do that? If I think that, holy shit, I can't stop thinking about this. How do I stop this? I'm going to create something it was worse than before I even found out about it. And I thought my life kind of sucked before I found out about it. I'm not saying that this is you, but I am saying this is a pattern that people fall into. And then your life becomes about manifesting instead of about you returning back to you, because manifesting is actually a byproduct of you. So it makes no sense to just sit there and try to manifest all the time. Manifesting is natural. It is a 100% happening thing all the time. You don't need to try to do anything. You just need to worry about you. So stop being so scared and return back to that. Focus on your breathing. Play the state of being games like I do and do. But anyway, I think I've ranted for long enough, but I love you guys. Seriously, I do. I greatly appreciate it. I know who you are. And I know that if you could just take some time to do that, to return to self and stop trying to manifest for a little while, get yourself situated and together, and stop being so damn scared all the time, and be aware of thought, and then also come in with the choice of letting these things go. Your life will shape, it will change because you changed, and it has to change because the manifesting part is just a byproduct of you. You're not trying to make something happen out there. You're trying to let some things go in here that created all this, and return back to this self, if you want to call it self, but what it is you actually are. Okay. See you soon.